Right guys, update. It's been a while. It could have been a month, to be honest with you. I almost got out of the habit of picking this camera up. It's been in my bag. And I've just been doing little shitty jobs, one after another. I think the last videos I've recorded on here were for the BMW, which I'm about to start again now. So I thought I'd whip out camera. Let's have a look, see what we've been doing. Got loads of stuff out and about. Main problem is there's a few bikes over there now. BMWs should be in front of the queue, but then there's another bike in front of that. There's another bike behind that. There's another bike over here. There's 4 bikes in now, I think, and that means that I'm a little bit behind because I like to have 2 that I'm working on, 2 that I'm waiting for. And at the moment I've got 1 that I'm working on, 3 that I'm waiting for, so I'm 1 bike behind at the moment. But I've been doing other things. I've got a 2 CV endurance racer down there. That's took a bit of doing. I've welded up a petrol tank, a mud guard. I've got another petrol tank to do. I've had this little small pipe to copy, which is off of vintage bikes, all mangled, been badly bent. That I think it's just been bent. I think it's just been cut and bent and then welded. Cut and weld job, not a bend. So I've copied that. I'll spin camera around, we'll have a look, and then I'll show you bits, the other bits I've got to do as well. So that's one I've done today. Just simple copy of that. But the problem was he sent me a tube. The tube's proper thick stainless, not nice at all, and he'd also machined the edge down there. So I've had to bend that without wrecking that edge. Which I'd normally grab that in. I'd normally have that stuck out a bit there and just grab that bit in vice and throw it away, but he'd already machined that, so I had to think of a magic plan to get that in there. So yeah, that's that done. This here, I've skipped out a stage again on my BMW, because that is got a bit silencer for BMW, and that bit there, I'm going to have to notch that out with grinder, and that's going to be a little cutout to go around shocker, so it'll actually sit that way around, I think. So I've got all the bits to make up for that, so we'll do a video of that. We'll do a video of me notching that out, welding it back up, making it into a silencer. I did this last week. That's going to be the 2-into-1 for the BMW. So that's coming along nicely. That'll basically go somewhere around there on end at silencer to join the 2 pipes into one. What else have we got? That silencer come from that, look at that. Piece of cardboard. That's basically what I'm making. I've trimmed it down. That's the customer brought me this all squashed up, and when we put it on bike I thought, it's a bit too big that. So I've actually trimmed it down to there where that black line is. That's going to be bottom of my silencer. Not top of my silencer. It should be that way around, shouldn't it? Make a boring video of this. I'll have to let's get into some interesting stuff. Where's that over there? Right, there's some nice bikes underneath there. That I've got to build a frame. There's a local painter, lives a couple of houses down. He wants me to build a little angle iron frame. I've done one for him before. We did it on the painting. This one he's brought me canvas before he starts painting it. So make a frame first. A little bit of job kind of thing again. And not interested in that. Nothing to do with bikes. Interesting bit is this. That was last week's job. So I've had a customer basically said I'm building a 2 CV endurance racer. I told him I don't do cars, but he's one of my customers. He races dirt bikes, races CZs. So I said yeah, because it sounds interesting, didn't it? And then that turned up in back of a van. We had to carry that out back of a van, and it come with them scabby pipes on it. You see this set here, and he's basically give me that plus the tailpipe, the old tailpipe, plus a new silencer which I've welded a collar on because it didn't come with collar. That pipe there is to replicate the one above it. You see that there is that bit there, and then that bend there is going to be that bend out the top of there. Basically give me all that set plus this 2-into-1 junction. He's made that himself and said can you make that set of pipes but make them 1120. So I had to put like 100mm in them, 200mm. So basically what I've done is gone from there, put a big bend in it round to there, and then this bend from side on I've had to make that a lot bigger. So what you can see there is I've had to put a bigger hoop in that to gather the length, and then this one would have finished there, but I've basically extended it right across so it's in line with that, which on that one it's obviously not. So yeah, I've run the pipe underneath that pipe. So that's going to be a nice thing. That's just waiting for the customer now to come and pick that up and then go and try it on the car, and I think he's going to weld that tailpipe together, because basically I've got the engine here and that's looking alright. I know that that'll fit all inside an engine bay because he's made me a little metal frame on the back of it to tell me where the firewall is. That's where the bulkhead is there. So just fit it all in within that. And I've used the old set of pipes to copy off, but the tailpipe, that runs down here somewhere, under the car or downside of the car, I've got no idea. What I'm going to do now is we'll have a look underneath here because that's where the Beamer is. And I think the white bike at the back, there's a GSX-R at the back, and I think that were there already, but the bike in front of it's really, really nice, and it'd be one of them, if you're watching this video now on YouTube, I'm basically walking backwards looking for my stand. If you're watching this on YouTube, where is my stand? Let's go and have a look. See, this is how long I've not had it out in ages. Should be over here, I think. Yeah. Now, I might not be able to stand you up, because I've not filmed anything in a while. No idea. Do you want to have a look at me confused first? No idea. Absolutely no idea. Oh, maybe it's down. It could have been down there, but yeah. Right. Well, I just need to move this canvas, don't I? Let's move that canvas. I said plonk it on there because it'd be safe on there. It won't get covered in welding splatter. But yeah, have a look at this. I don't know what you're looking at there because I've not flipped the view around. But you'll just see it as it appears. Let's get this one off. Beamer should be there now. This underneath here is that GSX-R. That's your Beamer. This one's going to be a surprise for the future. You'll have got a bit of it then. All you people that know, you'll know a lot more from that angle there. There'll be some American friends interested in this one. If there's a few American viewers, that's what's in the pipeline. So we've gone. I don't mind this BMW Enduro bike. It's a nice thing. So basically, yeah, what I was showing you before, it wants that 2-in-1 putting on there, and it's silent. So that cutout's basically to fit around that shocker and that frame rail, so I can butt it right in. I'll be doing that. I'm just going to finish that off this week, I think, and then I've got to do this one fast. This one's probably my next urgent job. I think that one might be a long-termer, the GSX-R. So I'll just juggle between them. Might make a start on the GSX-R while I'm finishing this one off. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to be a bonny thing, isn't it? Won't go into too much detail on it because we'll save that for the next video. But yeah, bad boy. So let's shut the fuck up, Ben. I don't know if you can put that on YouTube. Might be flipping ban it. F up. Mum might kick off on me flipping swearing as well. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish off some more jobs today, and then tomorrow, or whatever point it might be, I'll get that silencer out. We'll cut the hole in. I might actually do that today. I might just do it now. Find camera stand. Get that silencer out. Cut an hole in it. Gonna be awkward as. Proper awkward as. And then, yeah, weld it up. Basically, I'll show you now. Basically, that I could have cut that out first. Would have been easier, but then it would have been hard to roll it. If you get that laser cut, you do a thing called stitching that in, and you leave cutouts in it, so it'll still roll it up as one sheet, but then all you have to do is nick tabs out. So you'd leave a tab there, leave a tab there, leave a bit of a tab around the corners, so it still pulled itself round when you're forming it, but then just nick out the tabs, grind the tabs back, done, bosh. Whereas now I'm going to have to grind a line in, probably skip the corners, grind a line, skip the corner, grind a line, and then file out the corners. And then I've got a pattern. Basically, I've drawn that up on computer, and I do have a pattern here in my book that I can use. Basically, I've used them as guides. That's me pattern for cutout, so I've drawn that on there. That's an invoice for a customer. That, if you can see, that's dead faint, isn't it? That's going to be my infill piece, so you just want them ends rolling up there, that end rolling up, and then that'll be my tail piece, you know, me blanking plates for either end. That'll just want a band welding on, which I've worked out on the computer. 333B20, cut one of them out, form it to that, weld it to the edge, drop one in. The other one I'll probably just weld to the end, on tail end of it, whichever way around. I'll weld one on. The back end of it, I'll rivet that in so that you can repack it. That's me done. Right, I'm going to do some work. I'm going to go find that camera stand, and we'll get cracking on. don't know where I'm up to with these videos. Just have to bear with me. Hopefully we'll get back on them for when we do that special bike. Right, guys. Yeah. I'm not going to trim that. I know I'm not going to trim that, but I'll pretend I'm going to trim it. Might trim it, might not trim it. I'm on with this Beamer. I'm on with this Beamer silencer. It's down here in front of me on bench. I'm going to do this critical chop, which is a bit scary, so I thought I'd film it. Basically what I need to do, I think, is on this end here, I'm going to weld the ends in, because I'm going to chop out all of that, all the way around there, back again, leave a big empty space in there, and I think if I do that, then this might lose some of its shape. It's obviously it's going to lose a lot of rigidity on that side, but be rigid on that back side, so I think it might pop a bit out of shape. So what I'm going to do to keep the shape is I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to weld end in first, and my plan was, I've made these, so I've made all bits, yeah, cut them out, press the little collar on it, punch and hole, press the collar in it. Basically I don't have the right size punch for that, so if I press it through it makes the hole bigger, so it wants to be 1 3/4, and I've got all the dies, but I've not sorted them out to put them onto me fly press yet. So yeah, just started off with 1.5 inches, and then I've spread it out to make it 1 3/4. If I bring camera down here now, I'm going to maybe use this more often. So it took me a while. I've tried putting camera in different places to see if it'll cover me and the bench. It won't. So I'll put it here in front of me. I'll put the handle here. I can do this. Well, tilt it up and down. So if I do that and tilt it down, you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I've got that. With a little pressed edge on it. I'm going to weld that with it facing out in that end. I don't know if that's actually the one, no, tell a lie. I'm going to weld that one, that's one that I made earlier. I'm going to weld that one in that end. It's a better fit. I've not cut as much off it, so it fits in there nice, and there's a bit of a gap round it, but I can sort that out. So that'll fit in there like that. I've had this bit of pipe out, that's 1 3/4. It's not to use as a tailpipe. I'm actually maybe going to use that as the transition pipe between this that I made earlier. That'll be joined on the end of it, I think, to wiggle it round frame or wiggle it round engine. Can't remember which way that's going to go. Then that will push into the inlet. So say that's the inlet. It will go in that hole if I keep squeezing it in. But what I need to do actually, I need a 90 out of there. So I need to go and find a 90 in my scrap bin. I think I'll just have a 90 in scrap bin. So I want a 90 to come out of that as a tailpipe. That's going to be welded in there. Tailpipe, I've messed it up now because I've pulled it out. And I had that set up ready for welding. No, that'll be alright. Yeah, that'll have tailpipe coming out of it. So I'll have to just double check that I've got this the right way around on bike. Then on this end, push that down, I've got this. And I'm going to weld that to that band. That band will be on there like that. That will have this going into it. I've not decided whether, I think I cut one last night, I think I might put an 1 7/8 collar on here so that it slips over this and I can bolt it on so that they'll come apart afterwards. That'll be plonked in there and riveted in. I'll weld the perf, so you'll have a perforated centre in the middle of it. I'll weld the perf to that tail end, and then what you can do then is we can pull this out, get in there, stick a load of packing in it, plonk that on afterwards. It'll have its collar on, and then this will be welded to that. That'll fit in it. I might have to give you a bit more upwards view here. That'll fit in it like that, say. It'll be like that, clamped on here with a little bolt, and then I'll have a bolt here and a bolt here to put the 2 header pipes into, and then that'll be it finished, a bit like that, if you get me. It's a bit hard to show at the moment, but yeah, what I'll do is I'll just fire up welder and let's start welding some stuff together. So that's going to fit on the bike like that. So I have actually, to you, it's going to fit on like that. No, it's not. That doesn't look right. Well, it does look right to me. That there's going to be the frame, that angle. And that there's going to be the shocker. So front at bike, back at bike. So I need to set the end cap out of that one. Put it in this one. I'm watching what I'm doing on screen while I'm doing that, just to make sure you can see what I'm seeing. So yeah, get that in there, which means that's a bit out of shape. I need to squash that end up to get it to fit in. Which might mean leaning on it a bit. Oof, nail it. Yeah, that's pretty much in. We're nearly in then. It's a little bit out of shape, that end. It's a little bit off round. All the flats and the bends not the same as the other flat and bend, but I just need to just get it in, just so it'll hold it on, and then I can tack it and weld it round. And it is basically that bit there is a bit too long. There's a few gaps, but what I'll do is I'll end up tapping once I've got a couple of tacks on it, I can tack it. No, I can tap it, I should say. I can tap it into place. That's just fallen in there on it. I nearly had it in the right place and then it fell in. What I might end up doing with that is getting it set down a little tiny bit like that, so it's not quite in all the way, and then just tapping it up with a bar. If I can get it lodged in. At the moment it's fighting me. Keeps doing that, pops in, pops out, and it is best, it's that corner. Some of it's sharp as well. Right, hold on. That fit. Nope. Well, that fit. Nope. That's close. Right, yeah. Right, guys, what I'm going to do is get that welder out from there, plug it in. Have a funny about that because it's doing me head in. So what happens when I try and film something? It will just not go in that hole. Then I make a video that's 20 minutes long of me trying to get that in that hole, and it's just not working, is it? I think my camera might be working today. It's got some sort of weird tracker box on it here that's round my face. Every time I move, it follows me backwards and forwards, so I'm probably in focus. This will probably look more like a pro video than any other video if it's got my face in focus. Let's flick that on. Turn that gas on. That's hammering gas out. Making a load of racket that gasware then, I don't even know why. I could just hear it like coming out the end. Now normally I'd just slip and get this, tack it on. But I've had people in the past say, Retrodyne said it to me first, might as well cover it. Basically, so you get skin cancer, don't you, because you show it back of your hands when you're welding. That's getting same as sunbeds and just being outside in the sun. That's kicking out sunlight amount of energy in it. The bright blue light that comes off that is exactly the same as sunlight. So when you're welding away, these parts of your hands are getting exposed to it. If you've not got your jumper on, all that bit be your arm there. You'll burn like mad there. You just end up with a big red strap because that same again. You're getting that light there on your arm. So yeah, gloves. Get your gloves on. Makes it really hard. If you're just trying to tack something and hold something and then tack it, gloves make it hard to hold it, but then makes it easier to tack it because you don't burn your fingers all the time when you're tacking. I'll tell you something, I won't be able to get that in there with them gloves on though. I know that for a fact. So right, that's going on bike like That's the outlet, outlet up. Right, let's get looking down here again. Let's see if we can get that in there without it flipping falling off. Now I know what's wrong with it. It's like that there. I just want to knock on bar. Oh, it were sharp as well. It's made me bleed. It's made me flipping bleed. You can't see that, but on that knuckle's bleeding. It felt like I went to grab the disc out the hole and it's just nicked me. Right, hold on a minute. I don't know if I can spin you that way. Where we look at, I've got me flipping over there on vice where them boxes are, them snips. So I'll put a bar in there. Right guys, let's get back, let's have a look at that now. Let's hope it's not going to nip my fingers. I was fighting with that for ages then, and that's pretty much gone in first time. Just wants to make sure that's the right way around. See, I've cut that out by hand, so it's a little bit, it's not perfect that end, but close enough to weld it. Just getting it to sit right up at the top end without it popping over at the top end. I'm leaving blood all over it now. Right, I've got some of it in place. That up a tiny bit. Right, time to get gloves out. Let's get gloves out and get a tack on there. Get helmet on. Glove on. Glove on. It's hard doing this filming because it's literally just trying to do a commentary to whatever I'm doing. So normally it's an internal monologue that's not internal anymore. It's an external monologue. Yeah, it's just whatever I'm thinking. Right, 4 tacks. 4 tacks. Now, get my little planisher out. Just give it a little bit of a got a customer ringing. I knew it was Pete. I literally only seen Pete yesterday. Pete, if you watch this video later, I seen you yesterday. I'm sure it was yesterday, the day before. I don't even know what you're just gonna ring me to say if you got me messages. I got your messages. You won't see this video. You probably put your bike up by the time you see this video. But yeah, I'll ring you back. I'll ring you back. Just gonna keep tapping this, and then I can get another tack either end. Then I'm going to phone Pete back. My God, come on, let's get some work. That's what happens all day long. I just want to listen to TT on radio. I can't listen to TT on radio while we're banging this away. Making videos. I can't listen to TT while customers are on phone. Right, I might need a bit of rod here now. Then my next plan's weld that band together after I've put a couple of tacks on this. I say a couple, I've already put 4 on. Let's get 6 on. 6 just hold it all nice in place. I don't think I need it. There's a bit too much excess on that end there. Maybe that end wants knocking down a bit as well actually. Right, there we go. 6 tacks on there. The autofocus is tracking my face in it when it's up, but it's not tracking the end of that. But yeah, that's got 6 tacks on. Don't want to put any more on just in case I'm not happy with it and I need to change it. But that'll definitely help keep that end as it is. So it won't lose shape when I cut that out. Double check, I think I'm going to cut it like that. So yeah, that's the outlet inlet now to make, which means welding up that band. Just get a tack and a weld on that band there and then weld that to it. It should just sit just on top. That other disc has fit inside there, hasn't it? So I want this one to fit bang on top of that and hide the band behind it, so then the band will fit in the other end and we can rivet it in so we can get in and out of it when it needs repacking. So yeah, that does fit on there nicely. But same case now, I just need to get that band welded up like that, weld that to it, and then we can fit that in the other end. I'll shape this down until I can get my 1 3/8, 7/8 collar on the end of there. Worst comes to worst, if I can't, then we just weld the inlet pipe to it. But I've maybe not do that yet. All depends on what you can see on bike. If I can see bolts on bike, then I don't want it to be on shore, or if they just don't look right. So I'll decide about that once I've fitted it to bike. We've weighed it up, see where clasp bolt will be. If I can hide the clasp bolt somewhere else, we'll move the clasp bolt. But for the time being, it's going to go on the end of the silencer. I think that's the plan for now until we dig the bike out. Right, so what I'm going to do now is not take my gloves off, is we'll point you back down, we'll try and get a tack on that strip. Normally I'd do this on bar, but if that were round I'd do it on bar. Because it's going to be fiddly just to get that to stay together like that. And then it's nice to have a bit of metal behind it so it doesn't blow through. But I just want to get one tack on and then I can weld it. There we go. Right, so that's just got one tack on it. Now I'm going to go and put it on my bar over there at Vice. So it's got some cold metal behind it to help it, just so it don't melt away. Obviously I can go and tap it down at bar as well to make sure that it's perfectly flat. So let's get you over there. It's not that bad of an arrangement we've got going on here. I have to move my earthling across one bench. So you get that on there. Get it balanced. Get myself a rod. There you go, one welded up band. Can't see my head, can you? You can see the band. There we go, one welded up band. Alright, let's bring you back round here. So, we've got a welded up band. Now I need to weld that to it, don't I? Which is going to be the same as before. It's going to take a little bit of bending and shaping and just make sure I get it right. Probably need a big block of metal on it to hold it down flat. Because if you put a weld on that end, it's going to tip up like that. So you need to generally weight it down a little bit until I can get a tack on one end and a tack on the other end. Because it does, you weld it, you move, by the time you've moved it, it'll just peel itself up like that, and then you flipping never get it back down. It's a pain in the arse to get it down. So yeah, just stick a big heavy block of metal on top of it while I tack it. But it's going to take a little bit of a moving and shaping. I might be able to, I could do that with you, I suppose, can I? Well, you get a little bit of zooming. I'll probably need a little chair. Get myself a chair out. Just bringing my welder back across. There we go. Right. Gloves off. Wonder what Peter wanted. See, he was sending me pictures of Rob North exhaust last night, so it could be something to do with that. I wonder if you could have seen us both, to be honest, in there. Let's see what's back out. Now that I'm sat there, nah, you can't. I'll get your zoom rating again. You don't need to look at me while I'm talking, do you? I'm waiting to do some sort of autofocus then. You can see me cut knuckle there, can't you? Bit of blood. I need that. I need this out as well. I need that to go in there first. If I just weld it on, it won't go in, will it? That's probably one way of doing it as well, is to do... There's another way probably, if I got that in there to fit nicely, and just leave a little bit that's stuck out, I could tack the lid onto it then. We're calling it a lid. They've just got slightly different curves to them because I've made them by hand. The rounds on either end are just ever so slightly different. You'll have one's a circle, one's an oval. And if you can get them circles and ovals to match together the best they can, leave minimal gaps, might. I just want a bit more of a corner up there. One thing I do is make sure you don't weld it on that way around. I need that lip sticking outwards. Wants to be something like that, but yeah, just don't know how to get that to line up properly yet. It's not bad, to be honest with you, but it just needs to be a little bit more perfect. I tell you something, I'd get away with that. You can't see what I'm doing again, can you? Zoomed in too much. Let's have a look at that. Right, I'm just going to try and squash it down a little tiny bit. Might go with the technique I said I was going to go with, which is to have a go at tacking that while it's on there. Just makes it all really tricky. I'm going to put that in there. That's probably alright. Just need something to hold it down with. Right, we should go with that. Just see how it goes. Probably just get one tack on again. I'm going to need a bit of rod. I've mucked up on her. I know I've mucked up because that flipping collar's pointing down, but it don't go in that way. Whoa! I had it lined up and everything, so that won't work, that piece of metal. Sack that off. Need something heavy and round. Which I've just seen. Right guys, there was someone at the door then. I've been away for an hour. It was Ashley's car's been being fixed back car garage next door, so just up for a test drive. And then I've been talking to customers and that. So I've got 2 more tacks to do on this. I put 2 on that side. I've just spun it round. I'm going to put 2 on this side and then I can knock that plate in. I might have got 3. I might stick one on either end, but I might just do that while it's on the bench. Yeah, basically just stick 2 tacks on there and then I can knock that end in and it should hold the body together. You've not really got that in focus again, have we? There we go. It's looking a bit better. Our battery went from 2 bars to 0 in like 2 seconds it's been on, so I'll just get this tacked on, then we'll pull it apart, I'll run a weld round it, and then we'll do some trimming. I'll get a new battery and we'll trim that out. So yeah, just get a bit of rod just in case, but it's touching, there's no gap. So that's that done. See that? Just push in there nicely like that. Get that riveted up, it'll be grand. Not much of a gap there at all. And generally I like a little bit of a gap, but I tend to run a big weld around the top of it. So I want that band to be slightly slack so you can get it in and out, which it does there. And then I just run a big fat weld around the top of that so it won't drop in, so it stops on the weld, if you get me. And then that just lets you just push it in up to there. That's kind of what I want it to be like. So that is an end in that end, an end in that end. That just, but they want welding round on the ends, but I feel like that's giving it enough support now. I'll probably just put, like I say, I'll just put a tack on either end of that, just to hold that flap down on the end. That flap down there, just same as what I've done on the other ones. It's peeled up a little tiny bit, so I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Same thing, you want some pressure putting down on it. A lot of weight, I suppose I could push down on it like that with that ring there. Just get it to squash it down. Just see if I can get a tack on. You can't really see it, to be honest. There we go, that's one on that end. Spin it round, push it down. There, tacked all the way around. So yeah, plug that back in there. I've got a well-made can. Or I've got the makings of a well-made can. Right, so now the next. So might as well weld it all up in one go. My next thing is, yeah, like I say, swap the battery over, have a bit of a think about it. I need to think about some prices for some customers as well. I've got that 2CV job to sort out. Don't look like much, but it took a long time working out the lengths, so I don't know, it's going to be more pricey than what it is. I've just started doing it on hour these days, just because I can't not do it on hour, can I? Everyone outside charging everything on hour, innit? I've just had a wheel bearing replaced on Ashley's car. It's just a banger micra. Dead simple job to replace a bearing on that. 80 quid in it because it's an hour's work plus the bearing. Annoying. So yeah, so that were 80 quid just for a wheel bearing. So yeah, so if I'm paying for that, then I need to be charging the same, don't I? So you have to make a pipe like what was that? This one here yesterday. It's an hour's work in it. So that's going to be the same, really. I want about 75 quid. I think I might do it 75 quid posted. It's just that end, but it has got a couple of, it's got a waggle in it that way. I want an hour and a bit, you know what I mean? I had to pack it with sand, all that kind of stuff. Probably right, to be honest with you. Probably is about 80 quid's worth of bike that. So yeah, so I'll shut up, plug this battery in, remember to plug the battery in, get the other battery out, get a grinder out. Go and check this on bike first before I do anything. Just double check it. I've got a bit of tin over here. I need to trim this up as well. So I've got that. That's going to be hopefully be my infill panel. Let's have a look down again. Oh, first thing I've noticed, it wants slipping over, doesn't it? So it's going to be like that. That's going to go in there like that. But obviously, once the corner's cutting off, I've marked 2 lines on it. Can't really see them. Mark 2 lines on it, and that's where it wants rolling up on the end, so it comes back, because obviously this bit here on that edge will be cut down. It'll be like that, you get me, in there. So yeah, I'll do that as well. I'll just put a bit more shape into that. I'll get on with them a little bit, but we might as well as video a bit of sparks. Every video likes a bit of sparks, don't they? That's how you get famous, doing sparks, who knows. That's when me and my brother first started this. All videos you can find on YouTube. We're just some slow-mo, arty-farty sparks coming off the back of a cafe race because someone's put a new seat loop on it, aren't they? So that's basically what I'm trying to do a bit more in-depth, but not much better, still a bit bodgy. So yeah, right, cut, edit, I'm going to go and sort it out. Right guys, we're back on. Got grinder out, I've done a bit of shaping, done a bit of checking. I don't know what it's going to look like with a tailpipe. I tried it with a tailpipe in, and I'm not really sure. We might scrap tailpipe off. And if I do scrap tailpipe off, I might have to invert that, you know, that lip there. If it were just going to finish with just that being perf, then I'd want that flipped inwards, and then weld the perf to the back of it so it tapers in instead of tapering out. But yeah, I checked it on bike, and the shockers don't quite, all the shocker lines up nicely here. And that frame rail, we're just running off, that's my original line that I've worked out off the cardboard template onto the computer and then printed out the pattern. And it actually wants to run there. So I've readjusted that line. I'm going to cut to that line first. Mucks it up a bit because my template, my infill panel is here. And that's made to fit that all without the adjustment. So what I've done now is that's the line. That's what shape it should be. So then I've drawn another line a bit further in, and then I've offset that line there, so I've got a line to bend it on. I'm not going to trim that back. What I'll do is I'll bend it up on that line where I've took a guess. I've just took a rough guess of where I want it to bend. I'll bend it here, bend it there, and then drop it in the hole, and then trim it when it's in. I'll probably tack it in and then grind it off. Saves me having to work it out. I'll just try and get the bend at the right angle, which is tricky when you look at it. But yeah, first things first is just to cut it out. I could bend it a bit more as it's going in. I get the first bend right on the original side. The altered side, bend that as it's going down kind of thing. So I need to find some goggles. I need to find my big clear goggles now. My absolute bench is an absolute mess. So they could be anywhere. Generally have a look around from here first, see if, because they'll be out somewhere. I might have put them back in the drawer. I have a drawer for them. Nah, they're out somewhere. Got them. They were in a weird place. They were in a weird place where they shouldn't be. So let's get that down here. Let's have a look at what we're doing here. So that's what we've got. Move it first. Yeah, that's the one. We'll move my welding helmet out of the way because I don't want that to get put in a spatter. Basically do the long cuts on it, to try and do the straight cuts, and then I might do that when I get to the corners and shape, then come in with grind, put a soft pad on, grind it out a little bit till I get close to the line, and then maybe file the last little bit of it. I won't get into there with grinder. Also need to remember just to chase that second line. So this is something I've never done before. It's going to be tricky. Cut off all the black, I think. Maybe should have put some ear defenders on before I did that. That makes a racket when you're doing it into a box. Right, now I just need a safe way of cutting them corners out without damaging the rest of it. Which I think is something like that, but anyway, getting soft in there. Right, that should be close to popping. It might pop with a screwdriver. It's still held in. That corner's not. That corner's nearly out. I'll just try and waggle it, I think. Screwdriver. There we go. So there's only little bits holding it in here. I've just not gone all the way through. Ah, there we go. That's some of me holes. Now I need to grind it back into them corners now with my soft pad, neating up the edges. And then any little, if I can't get in, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just gonna get as close as I can with this, and then do it rest with file if I need to. I'm fair good with one of these though, so. Right, it's looking good. Need a file. Need a file. Gonna go and get a file. Couldn't find the file I want, but I found that one. So we'll just see. It's a baby, and I wanted it bigger, half round. Wanted the bigger. Can't find it. It's probably here on it's buried. So now just, well, I couldn't see that, but yeah, just take the burr off the back. next on. So that looks nice, doesn't it? That looks nice, and you can tell now if I flip that over, that's going to go in that hole. Once it's been bent up, it wants a bend on either end now to sink it in, so it's down here. What I'm going to do now, get that. I say it's got a gas line on it, so it's going to be a bit risky. And I can't remember what rad I cut it at. I could probably suss that out off there. I think I will change my bar. Take my bar over there, wherever they are. I can zoom that out. Swap that bar over. You've got this horrible pipe. I've not moved that yet because I don't know if it's going to burn anything and I need to suck anything up. Probably give you a bit more eye. You might be able to see my head. Right, yeah, we're in. Right, so yeah, get a smaller bar, put a smaller rad on it. To be honest with you, that don't make any sense to me. I don't know why I've just said that, because you see, if you put a bigger rad on, you can make it into a small rad afterwards. If you put a small rad on, it's a bit harder to make it into a big rad. But right, you can still do it, so I think I'm going to guess at that. And it's just a case of just getting my big flagging hammer, put the line on there, put a bit of shape into it so it's got a curve on it like that, and then offer it up, see what it looks like. I would have a bit of a guess. Probably going to want more of a bend on than that. It wants bending more over the line. Right, now to take a guess at the next one. It's about there. So now I've got a folded up piece like that. Let's have a look at this. I don't know if this will work or not. So it would work if the pattern were the same as the pattern were. So before I do the big unveiling, hey, I don't know, you know, I don't know, that might go in there. That end looks right. If you just look in there, that's going in there, that. I'll get that in, I think. Especially with a little bit more shaping. But that one needs to come across, so my lines, it looks about right, but it's wants some more bending. So, over to the bar again, over to the bar. I don't know if this will work for the future. Could work. Let's say I'm missing the head again. To be honest, once you've seen it once, you don't need to see it again, do you? Just a general case of doing that. Just keep going back, whacking it, bring it back over here. And trying it on. Now I have gone possibly a little bit too big. It's sat down on rails. If they were rails, it's sat down on it. I keep looking at myself in that window again, don't I? But yeah, if you have a look there, I've got it to sit down like that. So it's that back edge is that edge. The edge I've not changed. That's near enough right, which is that side. That's alright, right, that. This edge here, obviously it sticks up more than it needs to do because I've altered it. So you've got that, all that sticking up there, which I was expecting. That's no dramas. But you can actually see there, my old black, that's my guess line, I think. It is my guess line. So that's how I guessed that I was going to knock that much off it, and it's near enough is right. All I've done is I've overbent it because you've got that gap down the back. So it wants a couple of ways of doing this. You can have a tack that now. Them two sides there, I've gone in there, lovely. They're absolutely perfect. So what I could do, because that top edge is not too bad neither, is I could actually put a couple of tacks on here now. I could shape rest with hammer. I could just knock that in a bit more into the corners so it sits down a little bit better. And same with that, once it's tacked on I could bend that, but I could nearly bend it back with my fingers, I bet. So that might be my next bet, is to just put a tack on it, or do I alter it a little bit first with hammer? It's hard to tell, but I think I'll be keeping it like that. Looks very, very pro. Looks like very HRC, but we're putting it on a Beamer, so HRC is probably not the one. Alpine. I don't think they were Alpine tuned GSs or whatever they are. They're not GSs, are they? R100s. R75s, R80s. I'm not really down with the Beamers. But yeah, it looks works. So, I think should have just leave me with it for a little bit again. Let me have a play with it till I get it to welding up stage, and then we'll have a buzz round it all. Check it on bike, think so. Right, I'm going to just pause it for a bit. Let you go and have a brew. Let you go and have a rest your heads for a bit, because I know these videos are long. I'll be back. Right guys, I've done it. Put a smaller bar in. I did say that, then I started off with a big bar, it's harder to... No, start off with a big bar and then it's easier to work your way down, because you start off with a big curve and keep tightening it in. It's an inch bar, I think, which makes sense for when I guessed what I need to put in rad wise. I think I've sunk it 15mm, so it could actually be a 15mm rad, but 25mm rad's close. Oh, it won't be. Oh, I put a 15mm rad in, I've used an inch bar, so I put like a 12.5mm rad on it, which is tighter than my 15mm rad. It fits in anyway, it fits in good enough that I can flip and bend it and tack it. Sure, I might unhook you this time. Before I start welding it up, I'll put you back up there after. That's what it looks like. You've got that, you see the small gap there. I'll just tap that down with hammer once I've tacked it in a few places. So I've tacked it in along that top. First of all, I'm going to tack it in along here. Put a few tacks down that. And because that's lined up beautifully with that edge. Can you see? Focus, bit of focus. You don't like up close focusing. You can see gap there, can't you? So that edge and that edge are lined up nicely. Same on the other side. You can see gap there. So that's it lined up nicely. Just wants a bit of tapping down. Put a tack on where it meets over there. Tack over here where it meets. Then tap the gap together. Put another tack on. And then that's what gap I've got down this back edge. So that just wants a little file off with grinder just to get it so it's down to the same level. Put a couple of tacks on that. Tap it into the corners. And then do the same, work my way around this edge. That's got a whole lot of overlap. So that wants a good grind on there. So probably, I might draw a line on it now. Before I tack it on, draw a line on it. Trim it off. So it's less grinding, because I can do that with snips then. But yeah, so pull that back out. Let's put the block up metal on there just to weigh it down, to keep it down, stop it from moving about. But yeah, if I just draw a line on that now, scribe a line on, probably because I think it's already got a black line on it, trim it so it's close but leave a little tiny bit of meat on, and then tack it, then grind it all the way around so that the edges all meet up nicely. Tack it some more on the top edges of both of them, then knock it in on all four corners so that the corners meet up. And then it's ready to buzz round in it. Check it on the bike before I do it, because like I said before in that last part of the video, I've tacked that in 6 times. I'll have to ask customer, but it might come to it that I have to flip it, get them tacks back off. They'll be awkward. But yeah, grind them tacks back off, pull that out, turn it round, put it back in again. Depending on whether he wanted it like the Grumpf, so he wanted a little turnout on the end, cut off / cut on end. But I don't know how that looks on it. It might not be the right thing for a Beamer. Alright for a Triumph, but yeah, might not be the right thing for a Beamer. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you back up there, and you've had a close up. Got to keep remembering to do that, put you on some close ups, because there we go, back in. Right, so scribe out. Get scribe out. Let's get it down here again. Which edge is it? It's that edge. And I just cut somewhere close to that line now, basically close to it, because when I push it over a little bit to meet it up, it'll take up a bit of that length. So it wants to be a little bit longer. Yeah, that's kind of scribed on, and amazingly, you can't see that, but the scribe line does follow that faint black line that I guessed on. So my guess was fair good. Looking at that, you'd think, bloody hell, man, I'm good at guessing there. tin snips. Get tin snips out. I don't know it. I need some left-handed or some right-handed ones. I'm just going to go with these though. These are just straight cut tin snips, so not ideal for the job. I want some with a curve on it, but they'll do. It's only a short run. Right, that should fit in better now. Should be getting a lot closer. Oof, got lucky there. I think if that bends over there, it'll just fit in. There's a bit of a gap here. I don't know if you can see that. Possibly not. That's as far down as camera will bend, so you have to zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. And I think when you bend that over, that'll just meet, so I've cut that to perfection by leaving a little bit on. But yeah, plan is now, tack round it. Camera's in back to front are hard. I'm like, wait, that's the wrong way. Right, so let's get tacking. Let's get that double checked. Make sure it's sat as good as it'll sit. Which, it's not far off. Do that, get my weld right, I think. Welder's already out. Need to find me gloves, my mask, my rod. Right, got my mask. Need a glove because I'm going to have to push that thing, push it across just to get it to tack on properly. Wants to be there roughly. I had that problem there where it won't tack then, it just kept on melting it away. Also got 50% safety in mind. Don't know why I didn't put all the glove on, just didn't feel right. Right, let's have a look. Let's get all the glove on for extra safety. Spin it then. Let's have a look on this other edge. Same thing, it's going to want squeezing, pushing, tacking. Nightmare. I don't know if it'll tack that. Yeah. Right, one more on there, then I can tap it in. That reminds me of trying to tack aluminium together a bit. Just the edge wanted to just disappear on me. So now I need probably just like a round hammer. Do you know what I'm going to do though? Let's get some more tactile on that edge. Let's hold that down. Put some more on it. Right, I'm getting closer. Getting absolutely closer. I say I need a round hammer now. to knock it into the corners. I have a round hammer. Any round hammer would do, but let's say that one. That's an alright round hammer, isn't it? So my plan is now, get that, tap it in a bit. And you can't really see me and the thingy again, can you? Don't know. That part of the video don't really work, but thing is with tapping, when you tap, it kind of springs back, so that's why you want the tacks. Obviously if I was just tapping that now, it'd all move down, wouldn't it? And then if I tapped it up, it'd all move back up again. So it's tacked in on sides, that's holding it in place. But every time I hammer that in, it just keeps on bouncing back. So if you can actually get it to a certain place, then tack it, then the piece next to it will bend in. That's the trick with it. So yeah, I kind of want to do that now, I think. Or maybe a bit more on there. Right, I definitely get a tack on that middle bit. I've got a bit of a problem where I'm left-handed and I really need to be right-handed. I'm right-handed and I really need to be left-handed. That's how this job's going. Forget what handed I am. I want to hold that there to get that to come together. But then I can't weld with my left. Or I'll make a mess of it if I did it with my left. So I'll have to try and think of another way around that. Like that one there, I can hold that with my left and just tack it there. Also, there were a fair bit of lip there, so you can run the lip in. Use the lip as filler, so you don't need another hand to use to put filler in. Say that one. That might do it that way. Oh, it did, but that's what would have happened if I were welding it with my left hand. Big dive bomb. Alright, so that side's perfect. This side just wants some more. You bastard. Thought that would tack together there and it's not done. None of it, absolutely none of it. That looks like it were touching. Nightmare. I smell my glove burning as well now. Right, a bit more tapping I think. Just didn't want to go. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. Tack there would have been perfect as well. And that tack that I just did will help it with it springing back. I'll get another one on here. Same thing, using the edge as a filler. Right, now let's see if I can get that to tap in a bit further. Still can't believe after all that won't go in there. Ugh. I think that's that bit I mentioned at the start where there were a bit of a gap and I'd be lucky if I could get it to join. I will be lucky to get a flipping joint now because now I've melted half of it away. There we go. Right, so it's a bit more of it held down. And that last bit there, I'm going to have to put a bit of rod on it. Right, put a bit of rod on here, I think. There we go. So that'll pull a bit tighter when it cools. I'll put another one in there and then I'm going to grind that off. I'm going to get that, start grinding that back. Right, we're going to have a whip round with grinder, get that a bit closer to where it should be. Need a bit more ice, don't we? Our battery's running low as well, so I'll just grind that off and I'll check it on bike, and then that's basically what I just did then. I'm just going to grind all the way around there, just take the extra, there's like a few mil lip or a mil or two all the way around. It just wants taking back. Now I know where it's sat in the right place and it's all tacked in. So you're getting that. It's the silencer with 15 mil cut out the side of it, so it'll go around shock. 3 inches will butt it up to the tyre, but if I just take 15 milli off, it'll leave 15 mil gap up to the tyre. So yeah, just I'll stop video now, save a bit of battery. I'll grind round all that. Then I'll check it on bike and we'll have a look at welding it up. So yeah, I'll check it. I might run over there with camera when I'm checking it, but I won't be able to hold it and check it at the same time. So I'll check it before welding it up. Hopefully, all fingers crossed and that it fits. And we'll just get TIG out and just weld it, weld ends up, weld middle up, weld end up. Then have a look at putting some inners in it. Right, I'm going to crack on.